Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. for no reason, drenched in sweat, and thought, is this normal or something worse? Because for millions over 60, those quiet moments at night are actually the body screaming for help. Maybe you've done everything right, eating less sugar, walking more, even cutting carbs after dinner, but your energy is still low, your belly fat won't go away, and your blood sugar keeps creeping up. And the worst part? You don't know what's going wrong. You feel like your body is failing you, slowly. But what if you're not broken at all? What if there's a tiny shift before bedtime, backed by science and practiced by Japan's oldest doctor, that could reset your blood sugar overnight? Without pills, without diets, and without waking up exhausted. In this video, we'll uncover the forgotten truth about what happens to your blood sugar while you sleep, why so many people over 60 develop diabetes without warning, and the simple nighttime habit that Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's legendary 100-year-old physician, believed was essential to stay sharp, lean, and diabetes-free. If you're new here, this channel is your safe place for real answers, backed by both modern science and ancient wisdom. We simplify health for seniors, especially those battling blood sugar and energy problems. No gimmicks, no fear, just truth you can use. So let's begin with the one thing Dr. Hinohara never skipped before bed, and why missing this small ritual might silently be putting your pancreas in danger. Habit 1. Skipping dinner or eating too early. Let's start with something that sounds healthy but may silently be hurting you. Many seniors, especially those trying to lose weight or eat clean, follow a strict rule. No food after 6 p.m. It seems logical. Finish eating early, let the body rest, and give your digestion a break overnight. But Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara warned that this exact habit could backfire, especially after 60. Why? Because as we age, our insulin sensitivity drops. That means your body becomes slower at handling sugar in the blood, even if you're not eating much. Now imagine this. You finish dinner by 5 or 6 p.m. You go to bed around 9 or 10. By the time it's 2 or 3 a.m., your body has been in a fasting state for 8 to 10 hours. For a younger person, this might be manageable, but for someone over 60, the body starts to panic. Your blood sugar can dip too low during the night. In response, your body activates the stress system, pumping out cortisol and adrenaline to bring sugar levels back up. And the result? You wake up suddenly, sweaty, anxious, heart racing. It wasn't just a nightmare. It was your body rescuing itself from a hidden sugar crash. This is a cycle that silently breaks your sleep, raises your morning blood pressure, and, if it keeps happening, can push you into insulin resistance and eventually diabetes. Dr. Hinohara often shared a powerful example from one of his long-term patients. A retired professor in her 60s said, she did everything right, early dinner, zero snacking, early bedtime. But night after night she woke up at 2 a.m., restless and wide-eyed, and felt groggy every morning. Blood tests revealed a surprise. Her fasting glucose was rising, and she was entering pre-diabetes. The solution? A simple one. A small, balanced evening snack. Dr. Hinohara recommended just a spoonful of full-fat yogurt, a few walnuts, or a boiled egg before bed. Nothing heavy. Just something to keep her blood sugar from plummeting during sleep. Within days, her sleep improved. Within a month, her fasting blood sugar dropped. No medication, no drastic changes, just one small habit, done at the right time. That's the key lesson here. After 60, stability matters more than strictness. You're not trying to starve diabetes away. You're learning how to support your body gently, with calm, steady nourishment. A well-timed evening snack can be the missing piece in your sleep, your blood sugar control, and your long-term energy. And that's why Dr. Hinohara always said, don't go to sleep hungry after 60. It's not discipline, it's danger. It's a lesson that changes everything, especially when we realize that what we do at night may be just as important as what we eat during the day. Now let's move forward to another quiet habit, often overlooked, that can trigger sugar spikes in the middle of the night without you even knowing. Habit 2. Inconsistent bedtime. Let's move on to something even more surprising, something that most people never link to blood sugar problems. An inconsistent bedtime. You may think, I sleep enough hours, so what's the problem? But the truth is, it's not just how long you sleep that matters, it's when you sleep. And for people over 60, the timing can mean the difference between stable blood sugar or developing type 2 diabetes. Dr. Hinohara always emphasized that your body runs on rhythms, and when your bedtime keeps changing, you throw off those internal rhythms. Going to bed at 9 p.m. one night, then midnight the next, waking up early some days and sleeping in on others, this creates a kind of biological chaos. Your body's sleep-wake cycle, also called the circadian rhythm, controls much more than just sleep. It regulates hormones like melatonin, cortisol, and most importantly, insulin. When you break that rhythm, even slightly, it becomes harder for your body to use insulin properly. This leads to higher blood sugar, poor sleep quality, and more stress on your organs, night after night. A 2024 study published in JAMA Network Open followed adults over 60 and found something shocking. Those with the most irregular sleep patterns, even if they slept the same number of hours as others, had a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. It wasn't about sleep quantity, it was about sleep consistency. Think of your metabolism like an orchestra. When everything is in sync, the performance is smooth and powerful. But if one section is out of rhythm, say your bedtime changes, it throws off the entire harmony. Melatonin might still be playing, but insulin and cortisol come in late or early. The whole system suffers. Dr. Hinohara often shared a simple but powerful prescription. Choose a bedtime and keep it sacred. Even on weekends, even on holidays. Build a gentle wind-down routine, turn down the lights, limit screens, maybe drink a small cup of warm herbal tea or listen to soft music. Stick to the same sleep and wake times every day, and within weeks, you'll notice your energy becoming more even, your cravings less intense, and your morning blood sugar starting to level out. One of the most common stories he shared was from his Western colleague, Dr. Grant, who openly admitted he used to do everything by the book during workdays. Sleep by 9:30 p.m., rise early, follow routine. But on weekends, he'd stay up until 11:30 or even midnight, telling himself, I'll just sleep in tomorrow. Still, he always woke up more tired, hungrier, and craved carbs by 10 a.m. He blamed stress, he blamed his schedule. But what he didn't realize until he spoke with Dr. Inohara was that this seemingly harmless shift in bedtime was disrupting his insulin and hunger hormones, leading to unstable mornings and poor blood sugar control. Once he committed to a fixed bedtime, even on weekends, everything changed. More stable mornings, fewer cravings, sharper focus. That's the silent power of sleep rhythm, something most doctors never talk about. And here's what matters most. After 60, your body craves stability. Not more pills, not harder workouts, but gentle, consistent rhythms that help your hormones do their job without stress or confusion. So if you've been struggling with energy swings, midnight wake-ups, or random cravings, even with a healthy diet, look at your bedtime. It might be the root cause you've overlooked all along. And now, let's explore one more evening habit that many seniors think is harmless. But it may be silently disrupting your glucose levels in ways no one has ever warned you about. Habit 3. Go to bed slightly dehydrated. Let's take a deep breath now, because this next habit is one of the most misunderstood and overlooked by seniors. It's not about sugar, it's not about carbs. It's about hydration, and the quiet damage that happens when we go to bed mildly dehydrated. Dr. Hinohara often said this was one of the sneakiest enemies of good metabolism after 60. Why? Because as we age, our sense of thirst gets weaker. Many older adults simply don't feel thirsty, even when their body desperately needs water. And to make matters worse, many choose to cut off water intake after dinner because they don't want to wake up and use the bathroom at night. It makes sense, no one wants disrupted sleep. But going to bed slightly dehydrated, that's when the problems begin. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker or more viscous. Even a small drop in hydration can reduce blood flow to the heart, the brain, and yes, the pancreas. And here's the kicker. Insulin, the hormone responsible for moving sugar out of your bloodstream, needs to circulate freely to work properly. Thicker blood equals slower circulation equals weaker insulin action. In other words, if your body is slightly dehydrated while you sleep, it's like trying to send an important message through a clogged pipe. Your cells won't get the message. The sugar stays in your blood. And night after night, this leads to insulin resistance, even if you haven't changed your diet at all. Dr. Hinohara once shared a case that stuck with me. A retired carpenter, late 60s, active, ate well, didn't snack much, but his fasting blood sugar was rising, and no one could figure out why. Until one day, Dr. Hinohara asked, "Do you drink water before bed?" The man said, "Not really, I don't want to get up at night." Bingo. They made one tiny change. A small cup of warm water, sometimes herbal tea, sometimes lemon-infused, about 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Not too close to bedtime to interrupt sleep, but just enough to gently rehydrate his system. Within 2 weeks, his sleep got deeper. Within a month, his morning glucose readings began to drop. No medication, no diet overhaul, just hydration, done right. This is the emotional truth many seniors need to hear. You're not broken. You're not failing. Your body is just whispering to you in small ways, waking up at odd hours, feeling unusually tired in the morning, seeing your sugar creeping up without explanation. And hydration might be the missing link you never suspected. Here's the practical solution Dr. Hinohara taught. Don't guzzle a full bottle of water at 9 p.m. Instead, drink regularly throughout the day. Then, about an hour before bedtime, have a small cup of warm liquid, just enough to hydrate, not enough to disturb sleep. Think chamomile, warm lemon water, or just plain filtered water. This helps your organs function better overnight, supports detox, stabilizes blood sugar, and even aids gentle fat metabolism. Remember, your kidneys, liver, and pancreas don't go to sleep when you do. They're busy repairing, cleaning, and regulating your system, but only if they have the fluid they need to work properly. So if you've been skipping water in the evenings to avoid the hassle, it might be time to rethink that choice. Sometimes the fix isn't in what you add, but in what you've quietly taken away: hydration. And now, let's look at one more seemingly innocent evening habit, something millions of people do to relax, but which may actually trigger nighttime sugar spikes and metabolic stress without warning. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any future tips on managing blood sugar naturally. And if you have any questions or something you're struggling with, drop a comment below. I read every one, and I'm here to help. Habit 4: screen time before bed. Now, let's talk about something almost everyone does, but almost no one connects to diabetes. Screens. TVs, phones, tablets, laptops. We use them to unwind, relax, or just catch up before bed. But Dr. Hinohara warned, what seems harmless could be silently damaging your sleep, your hormones, and your blood sugar. Here's the simple science. Your body runs on light cues. For thousands of years, human beings lived in sync with the sun. Wake with light, sleep with darkness. But in modern times, we stare at bright screens right before bed, especially blue light, the type emitted from phones, tablets, and most LED lights. That blue light tells your brain it's still daytime. And when your brain hears that message, it slows or even stops the production of melatonin, your sleep hormone. Now, melatonin isn't just for sleep. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that melatonin is also deeply involved in glucose regulation. When melatonin is suppressed, your body doesn't just struggle to fall asleep, it also becomes less sensitive to insulin. That means higher fasting blood sugar levels in the morning, more inflammation, and greater risk of type 2 diabetes. Even one night of exposure to bright light before bed can reduce insulin sensitivity by over 20% the next morning. Just imagine what that does over weeks, months, or years. Dr. Hinohara often reminded his patients, when you confuse your sleep cycle, you confuse your sugar metabolism too. And it's not about cutting off all electronics forever. It's about understanding how your nighttime routine is either healing you or harming you, quietly. He shared a story about a young grandfather who always said, "I need to watch the news before bed, it helps me wind down." But his blood sugar kept climbing. Sleep was getting worse. Dr. Hinohara gently challenged him, "Try 1 week. No screens 1 hour before bed. Read, stretch, listen to calm music." The man reluctantly agreed. By the third night, he fell asleep faster. By the end of the week, he said he felt clearer in the head and had less hunger in the mornings. His glucose dropped, his sleep deepened, his evening routine became sacred. This is a quiet but powerful shift. Because after 60, your body is more sensitive to sugar, to stress, and yes, to light. You're not being dramatic if screens disturb your sleep. You're being human. Your brain and hormones are simply responding to the signals you give them. So here's what Dr. Hinohara recommended. 1 hour before bed, begin your light detox. Turn off bright screens, switch to warm, dim lights. Pick up a paper book, journal your thoughts, or play calming music. Let your body know it's time to rest. You're safe now. This small change can have a big ripple effect. Deeper sleep, lower stress, better insulin function, and in time, a more stable and peaceful morning. Because remember, your evening isn't just about winding down. It's about setting the stage for your overnight healing. And without that healing, blood sugar climbs quietly in the dark. Now, let's explore the final and perhaps most underestimated bedtime mistake, one that disguises itself as a harmless habit, but could be fueling inflammation, sugar spikes, and silent insulin resistance while you sleep. Habit 5. Go to bed in a state of mental stress. Now we come to the final and perhaps most invisible threat of all. Going to bed with a heavy mind. Stress, worry, overthinking. Dr. Hinohara called this the silent saboteur of blood sugar after 60. Most people think of stress as something big, an argument, a crisis, a life-changing event. But according to Dr. Hinohara, it's the small, constant pressures, unfinished to-dos, unresolved conversations, checking the news before bed, that slowly raise nighttime cortisol levels. And cortisol is a hormone you do not want lingering in your bloodstream at bedtime. Why? Because cortisol signals your body to release glucose into the blood, even if you haven't eaten anything. It tells your body, prepare for danger. But if there's no danger and you're just lying in bed, that extra sugar has nowhere to go. Insulin steps in to clean it up, but here's the catch. High cortisol makes insulin less effective. Over time, this nightly stress cycle can quietly lead to insulin resistance. Dr. Hinohara often reminded us, your thoughts before sleep are not just mental, they're metabolic. One patient's story captures this perfectly. A 66-year-old woman, recently retired, was doing everything right. She ate a clean diet, walked daily, and followed a consistent bedtime. But her fasting glucose kept creeping up. Her doctor was puzzled. No sugar, no junk food. What was going wrong? It turned out she had developed a habit of checking her email and reading news headlines every night before bed. Just a few scrolls, but enough to stir up anxiety, unfinished thoughts, and mental restlessness. Her mind was still racing long after her head hit the pillow. Dr. Hinohara gently asked her to try a new bedtime ritual. No screens, a warm cup of chamomile tea, low lighting, and journaling for 5 minutes, just enough to unload her thoughts onto paper. The change was profound, not just in her mood but in her numbers. Within 3 weeks, her fasting glucose began to drop. Her mornings felt lighter, her sleep deeper. She wasn't just resting, She was rebuilding her nervous system each night. This is something every person over 60 needs to hear. Stress doesn't have to be loud to be harmful. It can be quiet, hidden in routine, masked as normal thinking. But if your heart feels tense, if your thoughts are stuck on replay, if you can't fully let go before bed, your body doesn't heal. It stays in defense mode. So what can you do? Think of your nighttime as a gift to your nervous system. Just like you'd calm a baby with a lullaby, create rituals to soothe your own mind. Dim the lights 1 hour before sleep. Breathe slowly for 2-3 minutes while lying down. Stretch gently, or do a light walk around the house. Write down 3 things you're grateful for and 1 worry you're choosing to release. These may sound simple, but over time they retrain your nervous system to shift from fight or flight to repair and restore. Because here's the truth. Your blood sugar doesn't just respond to what you eat. It responds to how safe you feel. And safety starts with calmness. That's why Dr. Hinohara always said, the last thoughts you give your mind are the instructions your body will follow through the night. So now that we've walked through all 5 bedtime habits that shape your blood sugar after 60, let's take a moment to reflect and bring everything together in one simple, empowering conclusion. So now you know, your body doesn't just rest at night, it listens. Every small choice you make before sleep becomes a message. What you eat, what you think, how you breathe, it all speaks to your cells. And through these 5 simple bedtime habits, you now have the power to send your body a clear message of balance, healing, and peace. Let's recap. Don't go to bed starving. Keep a regular sleep schedule. Drink just enough water. Turn off the bright screens. And most of all, quiet your mind. None of this is about perfection. It's about creating calm, one night at a time, because healing doesn't happen in chaos. It begins in stillness. If this video gave you hope, a new insight, or a small aha moment, please consider subscribing. This channel is here to walk with you, not just through facts, but through real, lasting change. In the pinned comment, you'll find a link to support this content if you feel called. But most importantly, give yourself the gift of one good night tonight. Because as Dr. Hinohara said, when the body receives peace, the body begins to heal. We'll see you in the next video, where we uncover one bedtime food that silently spikes blood sugar while you sleep, and the natural alternative that actually helps lower it. Until then, take care. Sleep gently, and remember, you are not too old to heal, you are right on time. Thank you for watching our video today. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and subscribe button to support us. We truly appreciate you support, and it will motivate us to continue make more information video to help you all. Thank you, and goodbye.